I actually think that people don't fully appreciate the strategic importance of basic scientific research. And arguably over the last 20 to 30 years, both Europe, well, I say Europe was, I'll say, at a weaker point all along. The U.S., actually ended up cutting back as a percentage of GDP how much public funding there was for basic research. And so today I would say that both Europe and the United States are not anywhere close to where they need to be in terms of public funding of basic science. That has a long-term effect, which we now see in the United States, which is, and I think Europe too, which is that the people who are capable of doing the research in the universities, which is primarily where it should be done, can't depend on public sector financing for that basic science. So a survival tactic is to essentially rent your talent out to corporations to do applied research. That shortens the time horizon and frankly narrows the range of exploration because, to satisfy the buyer, you take lower risk approaches. And so, but then it has another effect, I contend, which is that the companies who otherwise would say, I need to be doing some longer term research myself, all right, say, I don't have to take on that expense because I get this subsidized, applied research by just contracting it out to the universities. And so you get this collapsing, and foreshortening of the time horizon against which the basic science should be done. As you fail to do that, you become less and less prepared, for the uncertain future. And arguably, it becomes harder and harder to mature a big enough crop of the absolutely top-tier people. And so, in a sense, you end up cutting off your supply from both the top and the bottom. You're not getting as much of the elite capacity and attracting it here because it's the best science in the world. And, we collectively have failed to, in our sort of media-driven culture, to get enough kids who are adept at math and science in their early school years. And we don't really encourage or celebrate science and engineering. And so we're not yielding enough of our IQ into that environment. I would say government, you need to have the infrastructure to support the basic science, on a time horizon that's, 10 to 50 years. If you do that well, you'll have a better academic research capability. Those technologies will flow out, to some extent to the whole world. And so then the question is, are your businesses, staffed, prepared, and investing to be able to ingest this longer cycle research? What that means is that they have to have some longer cycle research. They can't just be doing the development of the next product that's 1 year away. If that's where they sit, then there's too big a gap between the basic science, which might have been done in academia and with government funding, and their ability to incorporate it and derive new products from it. And so I think it forces an elongation of their planning horizon, and I think that would actually be beneficial too.